Very rarely are you gonna really know the number.
So bad the first time, he tried to throw it again, and nigga threw the ball about me. I was like, yeah, they got
I had knots in my shoulder. You feel me?
Niggas way older than you, I'm balling. I'll be 35. Nobody fucking me.
That's
2 more months.
Yeah, we got big personalities. It's hard to make y'all personality.
I can beat you. I can beat you first right now. Alright, after bro get his head done, we'll go to the court. After I give you this footwork, I don't want to hear you complain nothing, because I'm gonna have it on live, and I'm gonna have that phone. I'm like, Diamond, look, your man gonna get a shot off. Look, you ready to fight now? You ready to fight now?
We have all the other things.
I'll be tired. We be pulling up crazy. You be like, you be watching me. Like, yeah, you tired now. Let me get off real quick.
But how do I know you're tired?
I'm tired. I'm old. I played 4 games up there.
And you got to be older than you, let's go, bro.
You get my age, then talk.
Bro, you doing that age, that don't matter, bro. It's about how you keep your body, bro.
I'm old, man. I'm out there balling on y'all young niggas, like I'm Hakeem, I do the bar.
So you put it up on
me. I hit a nigga with an okie doke yesterday, like, we thought he was gonna block it.
I'm sipping on new
21.
That look, of course, we got a few cases in the back.
Then I'm talking junk, then you start to get the car. You know when I talk shit, he know when I talk shit. He was ready to kill me then. No, I'm talking people in talk shit on the court. I'm like Dennis Rodman.
How much money you got on you right now?
I talk shit, you already know.
Close to 2 M's.
This so generation, I'm always gonna be the GOAT.
Remember that.
Oh man, we got to.
You should have saw me when I was your age. See, you was in your pamphers when I was cooking niggas when I was your age. You know what I'm saying? This is so you went around Mattel and Debo and Tyrone and everybody else. No, they probably is. Yes, you can. Be aside if you can. No, not even that. He got ball control to be his side, bro. On my dead daddy, that's one thing I can give Tyrone. You sound crazy, you'll never take that for Tyrone. Tyrone got handles for real, bro. Tyrone got handles.
I trust Tyrone. He's a puller. Somebody gonna take it.
Tyrone, I'm telling you, you actually been around Tyrone, you played basketball with Tyrone.
I gotta work a little harder.
And that's what that's that motivation. We understand
I do this for real.
Because it's the same way.
I ain't gonna never.
Okay, I see what you are. Let's go. Let's take it to that next level. Now we know the tickets up, and we ain't gonna stop.
I'm talking about handle. He's the only big nigga in Chelsea had handle.
That's probably in Chelsea. I'm talking
about. He ain't gonna get up there. He probably. I'm talking about Tyrone. I know that nigga had handle.
How long that was?
Yeah.
Hell no,
I'm talking about his hooping period in general. That nigga had them handles.
Good time. And it's for real. And once again, it's for motivation purposes for the hustlers. I knew it when it jumped for me as a youngster. You know what I'm saying? So when the youngsters who pull up, you feel like I went last year. I went hard. I went and got the jet. When they got a start.
So we charted jets.
Nah, we ain't charted no more.
Let's talk about what we talking about.
And we don't win.
Oh, okay.
No.
So let's talk about the jet.
Yeah.
How I feel about your first jet.
I was patient.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching all my homies take their jet pics, and I used to like them too. I love to see my homies do it. And guess what? Me and my dogs was on Delta. I said, let's be patient. Let's grind. And when the time came, shit, I went and got the G5. Yeah, he's been 30 minutes.
I took over.
But once again,
I just did. Why you really listen to
So you
what
know
I
how
said?
you chose the right
This is
people.
our generation.
Why your plane crash?
When you get my age,
I'm still gonna be hooping.
I was born in '89.
Still gonna be hooping.
Yeah, I'm still be hooping. Things gonna be wearing tear. Gonna wear and tear. Wear and tear and shit. You gonna be active, moving around, playing basketball. Still do what you do, fix on cars, whatever. At the while, it's gonna be wearing tear.
You're gonna be wearing tear with it.
Makeup by Marty.
No, it ain't about you.
Beauty comes in every shade.
You pulling muscle that's in that pool before, and you that upper age.
I ain't hooping like that, that's what I'm saying. I ain't hooping like
the beautiful thing about
You
it
live
was,
engines, nigga.
you know,
That's way different.
fucked up the point, bro.
But we had an amazing laugh. But when we landed, we flew in the, I want to say that was Texas, we flew into. And when them jets go into that mud, the FAA or whatever it is, you can't, they don't want you to take off the mud, might get stuck. So they treat me serious. So I treat me serious.
Oh, yeah.
Experience though.
Nice, bro.
As soon as we landed,
Oh, you want that crossover right there? You can get jumping. That's my signature. If you keep out the block the ball, you think you about to block it. I'm going. I keep my
Yeah,
dude
you
to park.
ain't stop on the jet.
You said what?
I keep my dude to park. You gonna jump? See, I'm old school. See, you don't know who that is.
Get some things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a boss, so I want to try some different things.
I'm old school.
So we go hard, you know what I'm saying? We really on that list.
Checking you right, you my pull-up.
You know what I'm talking about? Different vibes.
What's your favorite lemon pepper wing? I mean, what's your favorite wing stop wing?
So you already know, it's the flat lemon pepper.
Fuck everybody else.
Flat lemon pepper, it ain't nothing that can compete with that. The tracks can't be like the lemon pepper. See, let's say a woman in the car and I'm whipping.
Yeah.
Who beat me up there?
I'm whipping. I can grab that flat.
Everybody up there.
And the way I can, hey man,
Yeah, the drum just biting.
nah, I'm telling you, ladies, I'm dangerous. I'm dangerous. I know how to trust you. Flat is delicious. You need that flat. You want to tell me you grab that, you slide your tongue
Because I'll be
between
calling you, you don't never answer.
Blue cheese or ranch?
Let's go to
Ranch.
Jump. Man, you talking about, bro, this is jump, bro.
And then when we get the checkers,
oh, you know,
let's go right here.
Right there. That's
good,
bro.
That's too much fun, bro.
It's going to be a double cheese.
Something like LBJ.
Let's just go all the way out.
I
You know the cheese
We don't know. I'm like, hang around.
ain't gonna lie with you.
Niggas talk crazy, we ain't
Checkers got the best buffalo wings with the
Don't
ranch.
worry about it.
I ain't gonna
Bring my
lie.
strap.
Don't sleep on the fries.
Oh yeah.
Bro, you already know.
I'm gonna keep it gangster. Let's just
I'm
eat
on
some
there.
chicken
I'm
wings,
on
bro.
Niggas quick to shoot, they're not gonna throw no more. Niggas don't want to do that.
Point.
What made you wanna, franchise the checkers, bar checkers?
Well, really, that was the same checkers that me and my homies,
You got a
my
ball.
little high school girlfriend used to go to and go play, have a high school football game at Trash Pound. Everybody go back to Carol City, turn in our uniform, jump in our whips, and go right to checkers. So it was more about the memories for me, you know what I'm saying? And you know I love, like I say, the French fries and burgers. So
Step in with y'all in a minute.
I was like, let's buy back the block, one step at a time. So that's
My
my
damn hair
thing.
done.
And so, besides checkers, Wingstop,
Wingstop.
Bel Air,
Shout out to Bella, Finest.
Yeah,
what else you got?
I got you.
We in the team. I just
I got
partnered
Car
up.
wash.
The car wash.
You got the thing that shine the wheels.
Yeah.
You wash my car?
Yeah. Remember I did?
Yeah.
I got you.
What's the car wash part of?
You already know slippery soap.
Slippery soap.
Slippery soap. That was just something that my homie was doing. Shout out to Jeremy Lewis. It was something that he brought to me. He was taking care of my lips. And I'm like, man, you number one at this. He gave me the whole presentation. We partnered up. And now we, right online, you can go online right now, slipperysoap.com, but we finna be in all the Walmarts, all the, automotive stores, you know what I mean? So I look at it like it's gonna be real, real big because it's the best product. And Ricky Rose really, we in the market, we in the zone by ourselves doing this, and we finna take it to another level.
And how important is market when it comes to, products?
I believe it's everything. That's the only way you separate yourself from everybody else who's doing it. You gotta market it. You know what I mean? And nobody better than yourself. So like I tell all my homies, I call that shashi. It's time to get to this paper and you gotta explain and make it clear what makes this the best. Because if you stand next to it, it's not the best.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So the slippery soap and something else I'm excited about. We're creating our own chicken brand, crispy kitchen. So y'all will be able to walk into the grocery stores and buy a big bag of that. Man, we ain't playing no games out here, man. I'm talking about this for real. You know what I'm saying? So, we hustling and we having fun doing it.
How many cars do you own?
I'm over 20.
What that's what made you want to get into the car show business?
I always wanted to be in the car show business, just watching all the homies' cars. You know, just watching cars since I was a youngster. But man, I got enough cars, and, you know, for us to have our own car show between me and my homies. So that's what it's about. You know what I mean? And just sharing a platform, because it's a lot of different ways for everybody that's building cars, putting cars together, collecting cars, owning cars. There's a lot of different ways for them to benefit from it. So let's come together and let's take it to the next level together. You know what I mean? And that's what we did with the car shows, because it's most definitely the biggest car shows in the urban market.
And which house would you say is your favorite? Your Miami home or your Atlanta home?
Well, you know that Star Island, that's gonna be the dream crib. You know that. But I'm gonna say the promised land, and the reason I'm gonna say that is because all of my animals are there. You know what I'm saying?
How many animals you got? What made you want to start buying animals and shit? You got everything.
Everything. You know how to ride horses?
I did, but them horses, like one wrong scream and they throw your ass off. So I be a little straight on the horses. I just be like,
Nah, I got you. We gotta bring the cameras up there to the promised land. We gotta get on one of the horses, and trust me, we good. What?
So you be riding horses?
Yeah.
They never throw you off?
No. Oh, if Rose ever got thrown off, that's it. I'm gonna get back on one. I swear for God. No, I can't do that. Damn, man, don't say that. Well,
did you ever name the horses?
Oh, yeah.
How many horses?
Ferrari. I got 6 horses.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, horses, buffalo, cows, bulls, of course, dogs, you know. It's one of them things, you know what I mean? I love animals. We got more than enough space. So we got cars, we got the animals. You know what I'm saying?
And how much does it cost for that maintenance? To own
For the promised land, or just rose?
I'm talking just the animals. But I want to go, I'm going to talk the animals. I want to go promised land and rose, because you got animals, you got a restaurant, all type of shit.
No, we going hard. We going hard, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm going to tell you, that's one thing about me. We winning big. But it's no particular number that I'm chasing. If it's anything, I'm just chasing, really, you know, conquering the challenges. That's like saying, yo, Rose, can you have a Wingstop, man? We can have shit 50 of them. And what can trump that, man? We create our own chicken line, our own chicken brand. You know what I mean? That we can sell in franchises around the world and stores, you know, so it's really about the challenges for me. That's what drives me the most, you know what I'm saying?
So how much does it cost to be Ricky Rose?
To be the boss, oh man, you gotta have your money right. And you can't be scared to, hey man, it's easy, it's most definitely 7 figures. In 2 weeks.
So I want to go into music. You still have your record label?
Right. Maybach Music. We just launched, signed a new artist, Nino Breeze. He on fire. I heard about his name when he was serving fair time. He came home. He just closed the deal. He just dropped his new single, Type of Nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's on fire. We finna do what we do best. And so yeah, I still own the label. WMG.
And are you working on the music?
You know I am. You know I gotta drop me some new slappers before the year out. So this December, get ready, man. I'm finna drop me some shit.
What can we expect? What can we expect?
Rose to talk some shit.
That mobile talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
big money mobile talk. Something I'm in a different position now, so I can talk different, and that's what I'm gonna do.
You got horses, buffaloes. I want to go back to the horses. You got one named Ferrari.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Oh man,
And why you name your house the Promised Land?
It's the Promised Land. If you focus, you know what I mean? If you stay focused, you stay determined, you stay prayed up, and you really go get it, it's gonna happen for you. So when you come through those gates, it's the promised land. Whatever we talking about, we gonna go get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the vibe.
And I feel like you've been in the game so long, and you're very successful. How do you stay so successful? Like, what are some advice you could give me for longevity?
You know, my passion for music is still, I'm talking about, we still listening to music while we on the way here. We still talking about beats. We still talking about, so that's first and foremost. My passion for that will never change. You know what I'm saying? And so I just apply my love, everything else. I'm in the clubs every night, the champagne, the vibes, you know, fat boy lifestyle needs, lemon pepper chicken wing, and I just apply it to everything I'm doing every day. You know what I mean? So whatever it is you love the most, keep it incorporated. Find a way to manufacture a product and let's put it on the streets. And when you love what you're doing, it's gonna be hard to, you wouldn't be here if you wasn't the shit, you know what I mean? If you wasn't on your A game. So now we're just gonna continue to take it to that next level, and when we look back 15 years from now, it's gonna be like, oh shit.
Hold on. This is not dairy? Wait. How is it so creamy?
That's what everybody gonna say. You know what I mean? Nobody seen my vision. Nobody believed in what I was talking about. And I get it. That's cool. Just give me some time and I'm gonna show you how we finna do this.
And how was you able to turn like a dollar into a dream? Like, how was you able to push yourself to that potential? Because a lot of times you fall short, but it'd be hard to keep going. So what motivates you to just keep going?
It wasn't a joke. We really like that. It wasn't a
I
joke.
gotta invest in myself. I gotta do this myself. I wanna do this. I wanna do something others won't do. Yo, I wanna go buy a jet and not just to take pictures on IG. Fuck that. I wanna be able to go get money and do it for cities in one day, 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? Instead of playing with money, instead of us going to Vegas gambling, now I'm finna buy some real estate and start out. I'm gonna invest another dub in it. It's gonna be worth 100. You feel me? And when you look up, and that become the lifestyle, that become the pattern. Man, this gonna be how people do fuck with you and keep up with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing, and that's what we're applying. You know what I mean? We're going to take losses, gambling, we're going to take losses. But as long as you're sticking to shit, what the plan is, shit, I believe you're going to win much bigger.
So I want to go to you and Drake.
Right.
Are you and Drake really beefing or them?
Gotta be something. I wanted to take a trip, but I ain't trying to spend a whole lot of money and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to buy me a house and all that shit. For real. Just hit it. Maybe, some, you know, that's it. Something like that. But that's great.
LC Huncho, you shot this? Oh, you really?
Kamala Harris failed to do her job. Watch her admit it. You haven't been before.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't.
Benefits for illegals. That's dangerous legal. Kamala Harris is no laughing matter.
So, I like honey barbecue, you like honey barbecue. I like football, I think you like football. We're like the brothers we never had.
No, I have a brother.
But does he have time for you?
I guess he doesn't.
Yeah, because I feel like he'd be here if he did.
I was trying to drive on the private jet up in the Halifax. No confusion, it's a reunion. Hello, welcome back. In Birmingham, I counted money. East side can't win the Halifax. I'm only here to show niggas drinking some bitches welcome and some good jewelry and bikes, nigga. My brown bags and big figures. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more shit than Chinatown. I don't like niggas. What's wrong with me? I don't like niggas, but this 44 turn on Michael Jordan. I'm looking to say, take flight.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in 30 states, in California, Texas, and New York, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog app. Use code MACECAM or STAT to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash with your first deposit. Get 2 free picks for this week only. The CD Lamb free pick is for all customers. All you need is 1 yard for easy W on your first cash entry. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mace and Ann.
Man, what up, man? How you doing?
What's good, man?
I'm good. Everything all right?
Yeah, man.
What's crazy about yesterday?
We'll get into it.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, well, let's get into the games first. So the Eagles lost to the Falcons 22-21. A lot of pivotal moments happened this game. But what was your overall opinion on the game? Yeah, first.
I missed it. You know, to be honest, I had to go out and I missed the end of the game. It was a chippy game from the first 3 quarters. And I did see the highlights of the end of the game, but I'm not going to sit and act like I seen it live. But game should have been over if Saquon Barkley catches that pass. He doesn't catch the pass. I think that Kirk Cousins has been hearing the rumblings all week of people saying he's getting old, he's not mobile like he usually is mobile. I'm a fashion icon, man. I can show my shit is covered with GQ ass nigga when I know. Pardon me. And I think he's been hearing the rumblings of people saying that he's looking old, he's not what he used to be. And he went down the field and led us into a victory. Jalen Hurts is starting to look like Jalen Hurts from last year. But what I'll say in this week too is no consistency so far outside the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chargers look really good under Harbaugh. But it's week 2. We're going to see what happens. But Kirk Cousins definitely looked really good on that last play. Throughout the game was rather pedestrian on both sides of it. On both teams, I should say. It wasn't a high-scoring game, good defensive game, but Jalen Hurts, I get 200 yards, fucked up my couldn't care shit. By the way, Jalen Hurts. And Kirk Cousins looked pretty good considering the people talking about. Look, I'm one of the people that said Penix is on the sideline waiting for the job, and for him to march up the field and get a touchdown at the end of the game, that's pretty great. But look, I'm not going to jump the gun on either one of these teams. It's only week 2, but I don't like Philly losing in the second week, because now look, you're basically tied again, and this is with Michael Everson. You're tied with the Cowboys for the division. It's only week 2. This is a week for y'all to get up ahead of the Cowboys by 1 game in the NFC East. They didn't do it. So we got to listen to what Mike Irvin said. It could be either one of y'all, because if y'all going to play like this with no consistency and lose to Atlanta at home, we don't know who's going to win.
This is really good. Actually, pause, because when you think about it, Kirk Cousins, if I wasn't paying attention to my team, he looked like Pat Mahomes in my last play. It looked like he just willed his team to victory. And also, when it comes down to week 2, it just looked like the black head coaches are doing exceptionally well. They're coaching really well. They're leading their team to victory. And
they're pulling out stops to show that, you know, that black head coaches can win it on this level. And I think that's what my real takeaway from these 2 is.
And then on Sunday, Tampa Bay took the win 20-16 versus the Lions. Should teams be more worried about Tampa?
I wouldn't go that far as that. I know you from Tampa. No, nobody should be worried about. I wouldn't be worried about Tampa. I don't think anybody would. Where did you come up with that?
That's a good question.
Tampa?
You said yeah. Overlooking Tampa Bay.
I mean, they're gonna do well enough to get to the playoffs and lose probably first or second round. I don't see them going further than that, even in the South. I mean, to my opinion's point, and I'm ready to prove it wrong. You know, the Chiefs are still out front. We still looking like the team to beat as we should. Rain City. Cam said he's down living in Title Town. So
I didn't let her say that. I said I've been talking to people from Title Town.
You've been talking to me, Cam.
Well, you know what? Actually, one of my good friends from Title Town is here Friday, Mike Tyson. Official Title Town. So tune in Friday morning. Official nigga from Title Town will actually be here with our show Friday. I don't know if Mason's cool with it. Title Town. I think he lives in another part of Title Town. But he's by himself.
Act like an asshole.
But I don't know he knows from Title Town. He's cool because everybody I've been talking to from Title Town said they never seen him in Title Town. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying. Mike Tyson just, you know, I was going to let people know tomorrow, but Mike Tyson will be here in the studio actually this Friday.
Yeah, we don't need security for Mike.
Yeah, so it'll be one of my friends from Title Town that we actually see win a lot.
Do you believe that teams should be more worried about Tampa Bay?
Yeah, Tampa Bay, when you asked us actually about sleeper teams, they were actually my sleeper team, to be totally honest with you. This year, it's not that easy because it looks like the team to beat in that division is going to be the Saints. The way the Saints been putting numbers up the first weeks, I should say, are exceptional. It look like they're going to put a lot of points on the board every week. It's about to be if their defense going to be able to stop somebody. Atlanta, they just won. You don't have to worry about the Carolina Panthers. But look, when you got Godwin and you got Mike Evans in the outfield, that's a great security blanket for Baker Mayfield. And those guys have experience, and not only experience, they have a Super Bowl ring with Tom Brady being there. And they even actually got Godwin, but Mike Evans played really good. And Jameis Winston was there. That was actually his number one target. Mike Evans, year after year, we talk about these receivers and put a lot of people at the top, but we don't count a lot, we don't talk a lot about Mike Evans and his consistency. 3 different quarterbacks probably in the last 5-6 years, and he shows up year after year after year. So I'm going to keep an eye on Tampa. They won the Super Bowl, I would say that. But that's definitely my sleeper team. But with the Saints playing the way the Saints are playing, I'm not sure if they're going to win the division. I think this is more about the Lions losing in week 2, because the Lions, before the season started, they were the 4th favorite to win the Super Bowl. And we seen what they did last year. But last year, they were kind of a sleeper. This year, actually, Larry was talking about it. They can't sneak up on anybody. Everybody's preparing for the Lions, as opposed to they're saying, oh, it's just the Detroit Lions, they're never going to win. Everybody's prepared for the Lions this year, so they're going to have a rough time. It's up to them to prove if they're really Super Bowl contenders. But as far as Tampa Bay, like I said, that was my sleeper team. Will they win the Super Bowl? I wouldn't say that, but they're definitely somebody to be behind.
And Jared, I know he hates to lose it, especially when you have 307 yards. He didn't think he would have lost, so I don't know what to say about that.
And then real quick about the Saints, they're definitely trying to have the Super Bowl, because to be in New Orleans, like, I just know for them, like, that would be it. So more power to them. We'll see what happens. Okay, and then the Texans beat the Bears 19-13. What are you guys' thoughts on Caleb Williams' transition into the league so far?
Trump's deposit in 2025 would take Black Americans back and would strip away our voting rights protections and bans abortion. Kamala Harris will stand up to Trump and his dangerous plans to control our lives because Trump is out for himself while Kamala Harris is for the people.
Nailed it.
Sundays.
Hell yeah.
They're dudes.
Y'all sucks, I'm done.
Big dudes.
Whoa, they got a freaking bathroom just for pooping. Oh, that is not whipped cream.
Doing dude stuff.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna bother you guys so you can go follow rings in your butt.
Finally, we have a safe space for our marginalized community.
Universal Basic Guys. Only Sundays on Fox.
One thing that I didn't realize until the pandemic hit, how essential we are as water operators who are out there having to make sure that everybody has water to be able to cleanse and wash themselves so that we don't spread the germs within the community. It means a lot to be able to do that and to keep your community safe.
Because every time I watch him, it looks like he's scrambling and running for his life. Every time he has the ball, it seems like he's trying to play college football on the NFL level, and it's not translating for some reason. He's taking too long to get rid of the ball. He's looking for ways to run when he shouldn't be looking for ways to run. He should be trying to stay somewhere in the pocket and get rid of the ball to the team that he has. I know he doesn't have a whole bunch of weapons, but he can get rid of the ball faster. He can have a much better career, and he wouldn't take so much punishment. Because when the linemen know that you're not going to get rid of the ball fast, and you're trying to run and do all this other stuff, they're going to play a different way. And I think that's what he's running into. And I like the fact that Chicago Bears organization is letting him learn on the job. So he's by like week 6 or 5, it'll click in for him that, yo, we can't do that. Right now he's still trying it, even though it didn't work week 1. Now he knows it doesn't work week 2. We'll see what he does by week 3 or 4. By 4, he should really be thinking about, hey, 2 steps and pass the ball.
It doesn't look comfortable. To me, it doesn't look comfortable as an NFL player that far. This is my personal opinion. I don't like his facial expressions when he gets off the field. He looks like the same person that went home to want to pet his dog in USC, and he was really upset. He doesn't look comfortable whatsoever. And I'm trying to put a lot of pressure on him because of that. He's a new NFL player. Everybody doesn't have a great start being an NFL player, but it's up to his offensive coordinator and his head coach to make sure that he's comfortable, to make sure he's getting the right plays, even if they have to run the ball more. Get the ball, like Mace did make a great point, get the ball out of his hands quicker. Make 2 or 3 yard passes and let the receivers or the tight end or the running back pick up the rest of the yards. He looks very uncomfortable. I don't like the way the offense is moving. And right now, this is a recipe for disaster. This is kind of what happened with Justin Fields. And Justin Fields, to me, is a little more athletic than Caleb Williams. Like, Caleb Williams, to me, is a pure quarterback. Not saying he can't move, but he's not mobile. But I think Justin Fields is more mobile, so when things break down, Justin Fields can use his feet to gain more yardage as opposed to Caleb Williams, it's a pure passer. And right now, it's not looking good. And I don't want to solely put the blame on him. The Chicago Bears, year after year after year, you guys have been letting quarterbacks and letting your fans down. Caleb Williams, I don't really care for him too much. If you told me honestly, you're not a fan of him like that. I think that you was great at USC. I think it was a hype train. I say you didn't deserve it. I was really more mad when you beat my niggas in Colorado and bust their ass. So ever since then, I had an attitude with you. But he doesn't look comfortable whatsoever. And that's up to the Chicago Bears because you guys, I think, are like 6, 7 quarterbacks in like the last 10 years. So obviously you guys are messing up franchise quarterbacks because you guys are drafted as franchise quarterbacks. Let's play the time. Like I said, I'm not going to jump the gun in week 2, but the way this is going, it's looking like the same thing that happened with Justin Fields.
How long would you give him pause?
To be honest with you, they got rid of Justin Fields for him, so they're going to have to work with him. You know, this isn't like this may not even be a 1-season thing.
Yeah.
You know, they got rid of they just drafted Justin Fields as their franchise quarterback. They get rid of him for Caleb Williams. So they can't. If the kid goes over 16, they still have to come back next year and give him a shot over 17 partner. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you got rid of people for this. These guys are going to have to work on it. And I'm getting a little bit facetious. The kid can play. He can play football. But you got to realize it's like a basketball player too. And I relate a lot of things to basketball because they don't have basketball going with football.
So that's why I gave them that pillow.
Younger players may not know this person or about the name. There's a player called Drazen Petrovic, and he was on the Portland Trail Blazers for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 seasons, maybe 2 or 3 seasons. It was not getting any run. When he got in, he couldn't figure the offense out. We're not saying he couldn't figure the offense out. He wouldn't fit in the offense. He gets traded to the Nets and becomes third team All-NBA. And as a superstar, a bona fide superstar, drives him out with pressures, giving niggas fits, Jordan sometimes too once in a while. So sometimes you're just not in the right system. That doesn't mean that you can't play. You're not in the right system. But if Chicago Bears are going to get rid of people for him, they need to figure out what kind of system is going to work for him.
And on the topic of quarterbacks and letting them down, the Panthers are benching former #1 overall pick Bryce Young, starting Andy Dalton. Do you guys agree with the decision that the Panthers are making?
This goes back to what Cam is saying. When you get rid of people for these quarterbacks, you're almost stuck with them. So when you start playing other people such as Dalton over Bryce, then it becomes really interesting, even the value of your team and the players on that team. Because now if Dalton starts playing well, what do you do with Bryce? You're not able to trade him because you already devalued him by putting him back in the on as a reserve. It would be better to just play him, get his stock up if you know he's not what you need, and then trade him with someone else and get more for the player. Then the actual bench him is going to set the franchise back to me. And when you're already selling tickets for 50 cents and $1 in a franchise, it makes no sense to devalue the team or the franchise even more because you're already halfway out the door. Right now, if this keeps up, they gotta move the Panthers out of the city of Charlotte. And I don't know if that was worth just as move. And as a owner, you have to think about those things. Because again, selling tickets at $1 per seat is already halfway out of the NFL.
tissue in the bathroom, sir?
Come on, honey. Can't be late. I have a super important board meeting at 9. Morning, princess.
Morning, Dad. Big day today, right?
You have no idea. My mother is going to make me late. Because she knows my car is in the shop. And she has to drop me off.
Why don't you just take Mom's car and I'll wait for her and drop her off on my way to work?
You sure? Because I wouldn't want you to be late.
No, I don't have work until way later, Dad. It's totally fine.
Your mom was free tonight. Dinner, all right? Give her a kiss for me.
I will.
All right, love you, princess.
Love you too. Good luck.
Thank you.
Babe.
10 a.m. The truck pulls out of the post office at 149th and Grand Concourse.
Hip-hop is a cultural experience that has given a voice to so many.
You're way shorter than I thought you'd be. There's a shirtless selfie of me by the dumbbells. Here I am, air drumming, I'm a competitive air drummer. By the way, I forgot my wallet at home, so sugar mama.
Will you excuse me?
Hyundai Tucson with advanced tech and safety features. There's joy in every journey. Get 1.99% APR for 60 months on the Hyundai Tucson or Tucson Hybrid. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
And then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate.
Oh, depends on the way.
GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get 6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP on select GMC Sierra models. We are professional grade GMC.
He was a chart-topping artist who collaborated with some of hip-hop's biggest stars. His lyrics were raw and always paid homage to the streets where he was raised.
He grew up poet. He grew up in the streets and ultimately found hip-hop as a way out.
But when rumors began to swirl, rumors allegedly linking him and his crew to a series of violent crimes, those very same lyrics are turned against him.
They're trying to accuse him of leading the gang for the last 40 years here in the plaintiff.
In the Young Thug RICO case, the indictment includes lyrics that he wrote.
The rapper and his alleged gang members stand accused of running one of the biggest criminal enterprises in Atlantic history.
And as the case drags on, it becomes clear that it's not just Young Thug and his crew that are on trial, but the essence of hip-hop itself.
The government is lacking evidence.
This is the story of one of the most popular and influential hip-hop artists of his generation.
If these lyrics alone aren't enough to convict someone, that's an atrocity to being an American.
And now his lyrics have been weaponized against him, threatening not only his freedom, but threatening to kill hip-hop as we know it.
If Young Thug happens to be prosecuted on his lyrics, that means that everybody could be prosecuted.
We know that Arnold Schwarzenegger is not the Terminator. El Pacino is not Tony Montana. There may be some rappers that are alternative, but I speak for the majority. We know that this is just hip-hop. This is what we do, and let us have our art.
Now, more than ever, this world-changing art form is under attack. From drugs Fights for free speech, violence spreading like a virus, and the specter of racism. Hip-hop artists are paying the price, and sometimes paying with their lives. I'm Angela Yee. I've been covering the world of hip-hop for almost 30 years, and I have to find out what or who is killing hip-hop. When I spoke with Young Thug on the morning radio show, The Breakfast Club in 2021, he was at the height of his career. We talked about his new album release, his hard knock upbringing in Atlanta, and where he saw his career going. Thug said he had always envisioned himself as a triple threat: a hip-hop mogul, a fashion icon, and a community leader. What Young Thug didn't realize at the time was that his rise to fame and fortune was about to be derailed. He would find himself fighting for his freedom in a legal battle that would not only have huge free speech repercussions, but could very well decide the future of hip-hop itself. May 2022, Atlanta, Georgia. At the Fulton County Courthouse, Jeffrey Lamar Williams, a.k.a. Young Thug, one of the hottest hip-hop artists, period, and founding member of the YSL recording label, is being arraigned on more than 4 dozen criminal charges. Charges that label Young Thug and YSL as much more than a crew of like-minded recording artists. The charges claim they are the largest criminal organization in the city of Atlanta.
The actual underlying crimes are drug dealing, murder, and just some general violence. The government decided to add these charges to RICO conspiracy. So RICO is just Racketeering Influence Drug Organization Act. It's just a fancy way to say conspiracy. That's essentially all it is. It could be about stealing money, it could be about gang activity, it could be about political elections. So you can see RICO can be just about anything.
And it's the way the prosecution is tying Young Thug to the alleged crimes that has many of those following the case gravely concerned.
How the prosecution is trying to tie Young Thug to these crimes is through the lyrics.
Having read the indictment in the Young Thug case, the RICO case down in Georgia, the indictment includes lyrics that he wrote. And those lyrics are being used as what's called a predicate act. They are what ties him to the conspiracy as alleged by the prosecution. So nothing other than his lyrics are what's tying him to the conspiracy that is alleged.
Rappers have had targets on their backs since the 80s when, Ice-T and Lil Campbell and all these different folks were catching hell from local authorities. You couldn't even say curse words on stage at a certain point. So that's just the evolution from that to this. And it's to the extreme. I think it's absurd, but at the same time, you already know you have a target on your back. And you just have to be smart in terms of who you're around, because they will try to dissect some sort of lyrics to give their own case more weight.
And we cannot be lost by the fact that this is not new to Black America. It just isn't. It happens nowhere else. It happens with no other genres. It happens in no other space.
If convicted, Young Thug and the other members of his YSL record label could face life in prison and even a death penalty. But is YSL record label really a sprawling organized crime syndicate with Young Thug as its kingpin like the prosecution claims? Or is Young Thug merely a victim of his own talent? One thing is certain, Young Thug's lyrics are a mirror into the rough and tumble ATL neighborhood where he grew up, where many view Young Thug not as some criminal mastermind, but as a community leader who sought to raise up those around him through his music. Young Thug, a.k.a. Jeffrey Lamar Williams, was born on August 16, 1991, the 10th of 11 children. Jeffrey was raised in the poverty-stricken area of Atlanta called Sylvan Hills and spent most of his time in the Jonesboro South Housing Projects, a campus of subsidized apartments known to be a high-crime area with lots of illegal drug activity. But despite the dangers, Sylvan Hills has also produced several successful musical artists, including rappers like Ludacris, Gucci Mane, and Waka Flocka Flame. From a young age, Jeffrey was determined to follow in their footsteps. But when Jeffrey was just a kid, his older brother Benny was killed by an unknown gunman in front of their home.
I remember just like seeing my mom cry when my brother died. I was like, fuck, I just want to see my mom cry. My mom, I would go shoot 5 years straight.
In the wake of his brother's death, Jeffrey's anger led him down a dangerous path at a very young age.
Like way before rap, this like 2007, 8. I'm only like 11, 12. My first gun, like.
Jeffrey's journey took an even darker turn in 2005, when at the age of 12, he was expelled from school for assaulting a teacher.
He goes to a juvenile facility in 6th grade for breaking a teacher's arm. And I think something like that follows you. You gotta remember that he spent 4 years in that juvenile facility.
Being in juvie for 4 years had a profound impact on Jeffrey, and not in a positive way, at least according to him.
This is a kid that told a story, like, you know, when I was in juvenile, we didn't do anything except fight, have sex, just be around teenagers.
But during this time, Jeffrey also found an outlet from all the chaos and violence, one that would, upon his release from juvenile detention, become his life's calling.
Ultimately found hip-hop as a way out of the streets, as like a bridge to take him from being involved in the streets to saying, okay, now I can just rap and entertain people and make a different type of living.
Jeffrey was initially inspired by 2 of hip-hop's greats, Lil Wayne and Tupac.
He saw Lil Wayne during the No Ceilings era, where, you know, Wayne would sometimes go on these rhyme schemes that sometimes would just be very psychedelic trip. Where, you know, he's just freestyling and just rhyming about whatever he wants to rhyme about.
And it's from Tupac's 1995 appearance on the rapper Smooth's PYT, Play a Young Thug song that Jeffrey Williams found the inspiration for his stage name, Young Thug, with Thug being an acronym for a truly humbled underdog. Young Thug rapped about what many rappers do, the environment they grew up in, and the things they aspired to, which in Jonesboro South meant drugs, women, guns, and getting to the money.
That's Young Thug's music by crafting his lyrics, by crafting his worldview. What is his worldview? His worldview is getting that money. His worldview is not letting anybody get over him. I'm not afraid to stand my ground and use violent means to push back on people that I feel is a threat.
Music has always been art. Art has always been a depiction of what reality is. Some of the greatest stories had violence, had love, had ups and downs.
No sooner had Young Thug recorded his first few tracks than word got out about the talented teenage artist from Jonesboro South, and Young Thug's rise to prominence, both in the world of music and on the streets of Southern Hills, would begin.
Hold on. This is not dairy? Wait. How is it so creamy?
After a busy day, there's nothing like a chilled evening to set you right. With Candy Crush Saga, you can put your feet up and swipe away the day's stresses by matching colored candies. Sinking into the sofa and settling down for the evening might just become your favorite part of the day. And it's even better when you beat a tough level on the first go. Now that is satisfaction.
Candy Crush.
Play now.
Look at this lucky lady playing slots before she hits the air. She's flying traveling fast. No
Replace deposit $7 to get 77. See your site credits.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll do it with new ideas to make middle-class life more affordable. New caps on the price of medicine, new investments, clean energy to bring down costs for families. And while Trump will cut taxes for the super rich, she'll cut taxes for the rest of us. A stronger middle class, a future we can afford. LCD Victory Fund and FFF responsible for the content of this act.
Streets of Sylvan Hills will begin. Spring 2010, 19-year-old Jeffrey Williams had begun recording under the name Young Thug.
I was fresh out of the ghetto. I was fresh off the island.
And his reputation as an up-and-coming artist was spreading by word of mouth. But it's his guest appearance that summer on rapper True Royal's song She Can Go that would catapult him to local cult hero status. On the heels of his appearance on She Can Go, Thug began releasing his own music on a series of mixtapes, which became underground hits in the Atlanta music scene. But his real breakout tape was I Came From Nothing, with songs like Sandman, Twitter Song, and I Got It. This mixtape gained Young Thug a following beyond just ATL. And it's on I Came From Nothing that Young Thug truly began to hone his signature sound, a jazz-like flow that lyrically was suave and mysterious, and sometimes hard to make heads or tails out.
I think Thug came in showing that he had this sound that isn't traditional as a lyricist in rap.
You can say back then, I said the thing about Thug, his voice is like an instrument. Like it sounds like it's part of the beat when he's on the rap.
So Young Thug comes out of the gate. I came from nothing. And the thing you gotta remember about that time is that hip hop was going into a new direction. And I think that Young Thug saw that it was a line in the sand for lyricists who felt that was early mixtapes saying, this is kind of really serious. There's a serious what he's doing with his lyrics. Sometimes you can't really understand what he's saying. But then there was another faction that said this was a breath of fresh air.
Young Thug's flow piqued the interest of legendary Atlanta rapper Gucci Mane. And in 2013, he signed Young Thug to his record label, 1017 Brick Squad Records.
Young Thug being associated early on with Gucci Mane's 1017 Brick Squad Records was the ultimate cosign. You don't get anyone in Atlanta that is more Atlanta at that time, that is more keeping real within Gucci Mane. And I think getting that cosign told other people that if Gucci Mane was cosigning this, one of the realest people to ever come out of Atlanta, person that just stood on his business and who was, good or bad, that told people that Young Thug was as legit as you can get in this game.
Thug, the real deal.
In December 2013, Thug released his first record for Gucci Mane, a mixtape called 1017 Thug. The record is met by a wave of positive reviews and was named number 5 on Rolling Stone's 10 best mixtapes of the year. Leadership is the standout track. That fall, Young Thug followed up the success of the 1017 mixtape with a single entitled Stoner. Stoner further showcased Young Thug's trippy, jazz-like flow. The song was an immediate success. Following its release, scores of established artists made unofficial remixes of the song, including Wale, Jim Jones, Jadakiss, I Am Sue, and Trick Trick.
I would say Young Thug's ascension in hip-hop was overnight. Because if you weren't paying attention to his mixtape, then you would just see this cat come out of nowhere.
He is a rapper that has shown that you can come in the game and test and knock down the rules, the barriers.
Young Thug's next single, Danny Glover, fared even better and was featured in unofficial remixes by the likes of Nicki Minaj. Thug also now found himself playing for larger and larger audiences. And though he was still recording according to Gucci Mane's 1017 Brick Squad label, during this time, Young Thug also signed a separate management deal with Rich Gang, a label/supergroup headed up by renowned rapper and record executive Birdman. This led to their collaboration on the smash hit single, Lifestyle. The song's video has received nearly 700 million views on YouTube. And by 2016, Young Thug, now 25, was among hip-hop's most respected and prolific artists. In that same year, Thug shocked the world by wearing a dress on the cover of his newest album titled Jeffrey, turning the usual persona of the thug on his head and challenging what most in hip-hop deem as masculine.
He's always thinking different. He's always looking at the next big thing.
But despite his increasing fame and fortune, Young Thug never forgot his roots. He stayed close to his childhood friends and remained committed to his neighborhood and to his hometown of ATL. He began seeking out young, unknown local artists in order to give them a shot. And in November of that year, Thug started his own record label, Young Stoner Life Records, aka YSL. The label's name was an ode to the nickname of the crew he'd run with since childhood. One of the label's first signings was an up-and-coming Atlanta rapper, singer, and songwriter named Gunna.
He was like my OG, like my uncle, when I looked up to him in my neighborhood. He called me like, man, we just done down in the neighborhood. I think you might shoot a video. Just pull down here. So, hey, my brother, meet you, pull down and he just chilling. We just really just pulled up and just made sure he was good because he was in our neighborhood. Eventually, like, I started pulling up, going to the studio, just hanging out.
Gunna would go on to appear on Young Thug's song, Floyd Mayweather, which would also feature rap superstar Travis Scott and Thug's longtime friend and producer Gucci Mane. With critical and commercial success coming fast and furious for both him and his YSL record label, Young Thug continued his community outreach efforts, providing opportunities for young artists, as well as financial support to friends, family, and pretty much anyone in the neighborhood who needed it. YSL evolved into much more than a record label. It was truly a blended crew of Thug's oldest friends and his fellow rappers, all of whom shared his vision for giving back to the community.
I'm old, so I guess I just think about the first shit, bro.
Young Thug is a father, he's a son, and his movement takes care of a lot of people.
But Young Thug's generosity wouldn't come without a price. There were those in the community who were jealous of his success. And soon, beefs with other Atlanta artists would make their way into Young Thug's lyrics, and from there, make their way into a criminal investigation against him. It's 2019, and Young Thug's record label, YSL Records, is taking off. Originally, YSL stood for Young Stoner Life, a nod to the crew he'd run with since childhood. But now, the moniker is taking on another meaning, Young Slime Life. Young Slime Life was a reference to Young Thug's 2016 song, Slime Shit. But on the streets, the term slime has another, some might say, more dangerous connotation. It refers to a close friend or fellow gang member, and has often been associated with the Bloods, perhaps the most notorious street gang in America. And what was hard to figure out, even for those who knew Young Thug, was which YSL crew held more sway, Young Stoner or Young Slime? And where did he draw the line between the two?
The Young Thug is trapped in two worlds, it seems. The Young Stoner world and the Young Slime world. And soon those worlds kind of crash into each other. The Young Stoner crew is the crew that's around the studio. They're making music, they're artistic, they're one with the music. The Young Slime world is running the streets. That whole conglomerate is people that say, well, that's the game, that's the crew.
Events surrounding Young Slime Life's alleged criminal activities would soon put Young Thug's red-hot recording career in jeopardy. It starts when rumors began swirling that the 2015 shooting death of Donovan Thomas, known in the streets of Sylvan Hills as Big Nut, was carried out by the Young Slime crew, and done so at Young Thug's behest. Whether that's true or not, no one is sure. But the rumors got to be between Young Thug's Limelight crew and Big Nut's crew, the rival Inglewood family, which hails from the same area of Atlanta as Young Thug and YSL. The Inglewood family is a known LA blood gang. Regardless of the origins of the beef between YSL and the Inglewood family, the death of Big Nut and its alleged connection to Young Thug puts both him and YSL Records squarely on the radar of Atlanta police.
When Tom gets murdered, things get a little bit murkier, and people started asking questions of whether or not Young Thug was involved with a musical crew or whether he was involved in a straight-up gang.
And from what we understand of the evidence today is Young Thug rented a car that was used by other people, which then led to a drive-by shooting. There's no proof that Young Thug ordered it or knew that the car was going to be used in such a way.
Whether Young Thug had anything to do with Big Nut's murder wasn't clear. But Big Nut's crew, as well as his protege, the rapper YFN Lucci, certainly believe he did and allegedly decided to retaliate.
I would just say, it's a dangerous time.
The feud between YFN Lucci and Young Thug goes public when Thug and Lucci began to battle it out in songs and on social media. YFN Lucci began talking openly about the beef with Young Thug. But where did it even start?
The school said,
None of the back and forth is clear-cut proof that Young Thug was responsible for the death of Big Nut. But those familiar with Young Thug's rise to fame and fortune worry it will be his downfall.
I think a lot of folks were getting worried that Young Thug was keeping his eye off the ball. So this beef with Lucci's kind of like dragging back into the lifestyle that he was trying to get out of.
Despite the controversy that surrounded him, Young Thug's YSL record label continued to thrive. In March of 2020, Young Thug's protege Gunna releases Skybox, the lead single off his second studio album, Warning. The album features guest appearances from Lil Baby, Roddy Ricch, Travis Scott, and Young Thug himself. It debuts at #1 on the Billboard 200, becoming the first #1 album for Thug's YSL record label.
Gunna becomes this star within himself. There was a point where people were saying that this dude was going to leave that camp and become even bigger than Young Thug. So I think this was a moment in time where people kind of looked at Young Thug as not just an artist, but as a musical visionary, a businessman as well.
In December of 2020, Young Thug followed the chart-topping success of Skybox by releasing a single of his own, Take It to Trial, featuring Gunna and the rapper Yak Gotti. It's around the same time that Young Thug made his most brazen post in his very public beef with YFN Lucci, saying, at YFN, it ain't like what you do for your mother and kids, I would have been killed you, with crying face emojis. January 2021, just as tensions between Young Thug and YFN Lucci reached their peak, YFN Lucci was arrested on murder charges. Authorities alleged that Lucci was behind the wheel of the car used in a gang-related drive-by shooting in Southwest Atlanta. Just a few months later, the murder charge became part of a vast indictment that targeted alleged gang members, many of whom had ties to the Inglewood family crew, Big Nut, and YFN Lucci. With his feud with Lucci on hold, Young Thug returned to the studio, and in September of 2021, he collaborates with Drake on Way Too Sexy. The song reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming the third single from the YSL label to reach the top spot. While his music was more popular than ever, Young Thug's legal troubles were about to come to a head. In early 2022, it was revealed that Fulton County District Attorney Danny Willis had been quietly building a conspiracy case against Young Limelight's crew, and in particular against Young Thug. With allegations going as far back as 2012, Willis's office believed Young Thug and Young Limelight were in fact a criminal gang, and on May 9, 2022, she leveled a 56-count indictment against Young Thug, Gunna, and 28 other members of YSL. Man, I did not see this coming. Young Thug and Gunna are among 28 people associated with YSL that have had been charged in a 56-count indictment. Now, Young Thug was taken into custody after the home that he was at was raided. All were charged collectively under Georgia's Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organizations Act, aka the RICO Act. The law allows for almost any form of racketeering to be considered a felony. Georgia's version is known for being much broader than the federal law.
I think a lot of people were kind of shocked. Usually in these type of charges, you see them in huge mob enterprises with capos and bosses. So for this to happen in the context of a rapper is cool. That was a situation that kind of really just shocked the music industry.
I will say the majority of the states don't use RICO statutes, but Georgia, it's sort of become the crime du jour here in the last few years because the evidence rules are much more relaxed than RICO. It's basically, if I know you, and then you know person X or Y, and they do something, we can all get swept in together. And it makes it very hard to distinguish who did what, who's responsible for what, and essentially we all get lumped into the same category. And we go down, and the proof level has gotten much lower.
But the central figure of the RICO indictment was undoubtedly Young Thug.
From what I understand, that can come along with decades upon decades upon decades of time in prison. So it's very serious.
He has been charged with murder, robbery, and criminal street gang activity.
The charges also stated that YSL, and by extension Young Thug, was one of the largest criminal enterprises in Atlanta. People in the ATL hip-hop community feel like the charges against Young Thug were flimsy at best, and conflated Young Stoner Life, the record label, with Young Slime Life, the street crew.
The charges got RICO, nobody knows any better. It's like, yo, he had to have done something, right? But for me, it's like, okay, it comes from what? What exactly is it that they're accusing him of?
Folks in Atlanta became even more skeptical of the charges against Young Thug when they learned that prosecutors were using the lyrics from several of Young Thug's own songs as the primary evidence against him. Songs like Slime Shit, where he says, this that slime shit, this that mob shit, fuck the judge, YSL, this that mob life, or his song Anybody, with lines like, I never killed anybody, but I got something to do with that body.
I'm hearing these lyrics, I'm just thinking, if these lyrics alone are supposed to be enough to convict someone, that's an atrocity to being in America.
Young Thug's attorney argued that the rapper's lyrics are art, and they're targeting the right to free speech. Sadly, the notion of using someone's creative output as a tool for bringing criminal charges against them is one that has gained traction in recent years, and one that seems to specifically target young black men. Actor and comedian Drew C. vented on Shannon Sharp's podcast today.
This whole new RICO case thing, that's like next level. Yeah, they try to use anybody.
This is a trend. Prosecutors targeting black America. The prison industrial complex is real.
When people say we can use rap lyrics for evidence at a trial, the first thing that comes to my mind is stereotypes. Because a lot of the jurors in most jurisdictions are going to be generally middle class, possibly Caucasian, Asian, things of that nature. And once you say rap, then gang comes into the back of your mind, and it just perpetuates a stereotype. As soon as those words get mentioned, you can almost guarantee a conviction.
Upon his arrest, Young Thug was held without bond at the Fulton County Jail. Over the next several months, his attorneys appealed that decision, hoping their client could be released on bail while awaiting trial. But each request is denied.
Bond for Young Thug was denied because they said that he was a flight risk. Now, if you're thinking this man is going to fly across the street, there's something serious happening, so that smoke violence of like a hot struggle and everything was going to be.
Just about everybody had their bond denied because the government would say everybody's a risk or they're dangerous. But the interesting thing is a lot of the people in the government that it is being dangerous and this and that got time served dates.
Even though Young Thug was behind bars, his music career continued to flourish, at least for the time being. But his pending trial will not only test the limits of free speech in the hip-hop world, it will conjure up memories of a similar case, one whose verdict, if mirrored, could spell the end of Young Thug's career.
Again, you can get up to $200 in bonuses with 4Winds Online Casino if you're a new user. You'll You'll get weekly offers and play hundreds of slot games for chances to win big. Sign up today, or luck blows your way at Fluence Online Casino.
The gang's all here.
Look at that jet stream. Weather. Oh, yeah, they're calling it an atmospheric river.
Oh, flood warning in Louisiana.
Are they obsessed? Oh yeah, the stuff they do on the green screen. Unbelievable. They said 10% chance of rain. Ain't more than 40% to me. No, it has nothing to do with the viewpoint.
We can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you button all along with us.
If you're living with HIV, imagine being good to go without daily HIV pills. Good to go off the grid. Good to go non-stop. With Cabenuva, there's no pausing for daily HIV pills. For adults who are undetectable, Cabenuva is the only complete, long-acting HIV treatment you can get every other month. It's 2 injections from a healthcare provider just 6 times a year. Don't receive Cabenuva if you're allergic to its ingredients or if you're taking certain medicines which may interact with Cabenuva. Serious side effects include allergic reactions, post-injection reactions, liver problems, and depression. If you have a rash and other allergic reaction symptoms, stop Cabenuva and get medical help right away. Tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems, mental health concerns, and if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or considering pregnancy. Some of the most common side effects include injection site reactions, fever, and tiredness. With Cabenuva, you're good to go. Ask your doctor about switching.
When I first heard about his arrest, I remember thinking about how Young Thug joins a tragic list of hip-hop artists who've had their lyrics used against them by police and prosecutors. It feels like the situation seems to be growing a lot more common, but sadly it's not new to the rap world. Going back 20, 25, even 30 years, there's evidence that when it comes to lyrics, hip-hop artists are held under much greater scrutiny than other musicians. My hope is that this doesn't create censorship in hip-hop and artists can continue to express themselves freely.
We go back to 1996 when Snoop Dogg was on trial for murder and the prosecution brought up the lyrics from Deep Cover because it's when they said it on an undercover cop.
There's also the case of hip-hop artist Mac Fitz, who was present at a New Orleans area nightclub when a deadly shooting took place. Though there was no evidence connecting Mac to the crime, when police learned that Phipps's lyrics glorified violence, they charged him with murder.
Mac was the most popular, well-known person there, and his record label at the time, No Limit Records, definitely had an image and a persona for being about that street life and being about gunplay and all that type of stuff.
And even though another man came forward and admitted to committing the crime, Mac was still tried and convicted, largely on lyrics from his records that prosecutors played for the jury. Mac ultimately spent 20 years in prison before finally being released in 2021.
This can happen to anyone. I was a son, I'm a father. I come from a two-parent household. My parents have been married forever. My dad's a Vietnam veteran. You know what I mean? I want people to know that art should not be weaponized against artists. And that's just the bottom line. Because art is a place that will escape from reality. We know that Arnold Schwarzenegger is not the Terminator. We know that Al Pacino is not really Tony Montana. Darren maybe are some rappers that are criminals, but I speak for the majority. I speak for that 90-something% that we know that this is just hip hop, man. This is what we do. And let us have our argument.
It's a sentiment shared with those familiar with Young Thug and the charges against him.
It's not something to be played with. His freedom is on the line. His freedom for potentially a long time.
However, much to everyone's shock, on December 14th, 2022, Gunna, who alongside Young Thug was the most popular YSL recording artist, was released from jail.
Young Thug is back in court for the RICO case against him. Now, this all comes less than 24 hours after Gunna entered a plea deal for his release from jail.
At first, people believed Gunna had snitched on his fellow YSL crew in exchange for charges being dropped.
I told you niggas that niggas was gonna tell.
In truth, the charges against Gunna were less serious than those against Young Thug, and that's why he was allowed to post bond.
I know you're the I would never put that together, but today like he got on me.
Gunna took what is known as an Alford plea, which allows a defendant to plead guilty and accept a plea bargain where they don't have to admit guilt. Only that they realize if the case went to trial, they would likely be found guilty.
With regards to the Gunna plea, he didn't snitch on anybody. They really didn't have any evidence against him. It was all coming to a head, and then the government has to fish or cut bait. What they essentially did during his plea colloquy is got him to admit to all these things under an Alford plea. So is he saying I did it? But if I've been sitting in jail for 9 months and I'm looking at 2-3 more years with a long trial ahead of me, I'm taking that deal all day.
With Gunna's release, Young Thug was clearly the highest profile member of the YSL crew still behind bars. And as his case inches toward trial, folks in the Atlanta hip-hop community staged a protest, both online and at the Fulton County Courthouse. A protest not only on behalf of Young Thug, but for the First Amendment and the right to freedom of expression. It's now January of 2023, and Jeffrey Lamar Williams, the Atlanta hip-hop icon known as Young Thug, is currently sitting in a Fulton County jail. He's awaiting trial on a slew of crimes, including racketeering, several drug and weapons charges, and a murder-related charge stemming from the shooting death of the artist known as Young Thug. The state of Georgia is hoping to tie all of these charges to Young Thug using a single thread, his rap lyrics. January of 2023, and Jeffrey Lamar Williams, the Atlanta hip-hop icon known as Young Thug, is currently sitting in a Fulton County jail. He's awaiting trial on a slew of crimes, including racketeering, several drug and weapons charges, and a murder-related charge stemming from the shooting death of the artist.
Hey, you had to comb it out.
The state of Georgia is hoping to tie all of these charges to Young Thug using a single thread, his rap lyrics. It's a bold move and a slippery slope that has the broader hip-hop community up in arms.
If Young Thug happens to be prosecuted on his lyrics, then that means that everybody could be prosecuted on the things that they do.
Drewski shared with Shannon Sharp his thoughts on how Young Thug's trial has affected hip-hop.
It definitely changed the way people are gonna rap from here on out and talk about certain stuff.
What they say, if they can, will be used against you.
I'm telling you.
Honestly, I think Thug was a target.
The assumption that rap music is literal is hugely problematic and helps us explain the effectiveness of this practice of using rap lyrics as evidence. If there's an assumption that the music is literal because of these stereotypes about the genre, then jurors are going to assume that the person is actually confessing to a crime.
On January 4th, 2023, jury selection begins. But with the trial expected to last somewhere between 6 to 9 months, many potential potential jurors are excused due to the financial hardship that would be caused by being away from work for that long. In fact, just selecting the jury takes nearly a year.
Jury selection was the longest in the history of Fulton County. And a lot of that's got to do with the length of the trial, but we finally got a jury at the end of 2023, and now the debate's going to be do the rap lyrics substitute for real evidence.
With the trial date still not set, fan outrage grew increasingly popular, and some of Young Thug's most diehard supporters went so far as to make threats against potential witnesses, which prompted the judge to issue an order that concealed witnesses' identities and contact information.
Bringing more media attention, so the public becomes more interested if people are asking more questions.
While locked up and waiting for his day in court, Young Thug continued working on his music. And what may be one of the more impressive artistic endeavors in recent memory, on June 23rd, 2023, after being incarcerated for over a year, Young Thug released a new star-studded album. It was called Business is Business and featured renowned guest artists like Drake, 21 Savage, and Future. The sound is quintessential Young Thug, with its jazz-like riffs and raw lyrical content. To both those inside the music industry and those who are following Young Thug's case, the record and the way it was produced is a monumental achievement. One that speaks to Young Thug's legal plight and how he managed to transform his personal nightmare into a work of art.
It's remarkable how good the sound is for a jail phone, but there's nothing illegal about that. And, I guess it keeps him occupied and keeps your mind there because you're locked up 23 hours a day. Kudos to him for doing it.
He did not want his fans to begin with drugs. So that's the reason why he kept this music.
The album debuted at #2 on the Billboard charts. At the same time, the story of how and where Business is Business was written and produced began to spread. A tentative start date for Young Thug's trial was finally set, November of 2023. In one of the final pre-trial motions, the prosecution asserted that Young Thug's lyrics, cherry-picked from 17 different songs, are a confession of Thug's role in the alleged murder of Big Nut and other gang-related activity. Thug's defense countered that these lyrics are just that, song lyrics, and shouldn't be admitted as evidence. After hearing from both sides, the presiding judge made a decision.
The court is going to admit for the limited purpose thus far, the state's request to apply the evidence as was written. I'm going to conditionally admit particularized lyrics.
The law supports it, and that's part of the problem is there's nothing that says you can't do it because it's a new area of the law. And so I would say to some extent his hands are tied. He would be legislating from the bench if he says, no, this is going to be out, when there's nothing specifically that says you can't do it.
We are seeing one of the biggest artists of our time having 17 of his lyrics used against him in a court of law to try to connect the dots to crimes that he's been accused of.
In the wake of the judge's decision to allow the lyrics as evidence, several music artists joined forces with state and national politicians to craft new legislation that would protect hip-hop artists from being prosecuted solely based on lyrical content.
The Black Music Action Coalition leadership and our membership represent about 65% of the highest grossing artists in the music industry.
The Restoring Artistic Protections Act, also known as the RAP Act, is legislation that I introduced which extends protections to all mediums of art, theater, film, graffiti, art, in addition to music. But what is unique about the RAP Act is that once passed, it would establish guardrails for the use of creative content into court and protect the creative endeavors of certain artists who are under attack.
And this is your first hunch of the season. It's parlay time. With FanDuel, a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV will give you many more.
No. It's Broncos time. I take the over.
And you can easily act on whichever one speaks to you.
Eagles, Browns, Broncos, Bills. They all look.
And make every moment more.
New customers get $5 get 200 in bonus bets. Plus, every customer gets a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV.
#1 sportsbook. Drift into the world of Candy Crush. Swipe for stress-relief. Candy Crush. Play now.
Traded any phone in any condition for the new Google Pixel 9 with Jim and
Show me a video that helps with my backyard. Thanks, Coach.
on Verizon.
Growing up, the schools in Baltimore City were segregated. However, by the time I went to junior high school, the schools were integrated. My education is a result of my parents and grandparents and forefathers working to make changes. Please exercise your right to vote.
Hey, Bob. Cool leg warmers.
Thanks. They're just for the bus ride to work. They're not part of the official uniform.
No tunes today?
No. My apartment was robbed last night. Took my cable-ready TV, VCR, portable cassette player.
Yep, all the latest tech.
It's only Progressive and Renters Insurance, like their home insurance.
Then we can bundle our cars and get the same 24/7 protection. I think we just invented that. It's the best day ever.
Well, I still got robbed.
So, pretty good day.
Kings Casino, we give credit where credit is due in casino credits. New players, download the DraftKings Casino app and get $50 instantly in casino credits when you play just $5. DraftKings Casino, the crown is yours.
Artists who are under attack.
The proposed legislation has yet to become law. And on November 27, 2023, 567 days after his initial arrest, Young Thug's trial proceedings officially began. The original 28 defendants in the RICO case had now been cut down to 6, largely through plea bargain agreements or charges being dropped due to insufficient evidence. The remaining 6 defendants, including Young Thug, will be tried together.
The Fulton County Grand Jury has indicted the defendant Jeffrey Williams for the following crimes: conspiracy to violate the Racketeering Influence and Drug Organizations Act, participation in criminal street gang activity, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, possession of a firearm occasional felony, and possession of a machine gun. Each of the defendants have pled not guilty to this indictment, and each of them denied every charge in it.
In their opening statement, prosecutors asserted that YSL is not just a crew of like-minded recording artists, but a criminal gang.
YSL operated as a pack,
with Young Thug as its leader. Young Thug's attorney, Brian Still, argued that the only thing Young Thug is guilty of is being true to his roots and rapping about the community he still calls home.
He knows where he came from. He can't figure it out. He understands who you. He trusts you. Jeffrey's not guilty.
Prosecutors' next move was to recount the 2015 murder of Donovan Thomas, aka Big Mac, and what they believe was Young Thug's role as the crime's mastermind.
This murder happened back in January of 2015, and from what we understand of the evidence to date is Young Thug rented a car that was used by other people, which then led to a drive-by shooting. There's no proof that Young Thug ordered it or knew that the car was going to be used in such a way, but that's the hook the government's using to get you to the case.
With 6 defendants and 56 charges to adjudicate, the trial has been a slow, methodical process. But on December 11, 2023, the proceedings come to a complete halt when one of the defendants, Shin Stillwell, aka SB, was attacked behind bars.
One of the co-defendants gets stabbed at Fulton County Jail. So the trial got delayed again for about 30-40 days until Mr. Stillwell recovered. And January 24, everything sort of picked back up and the trial's back on track.
Lyrics, not to seeking for truth.
And as the trial resumed, it also passed a dubious milestone. It became the longest criminal proceeding in Georgia's history. With no end to his trial in sight, the world waits with bated breath to learn the fate of young Thug. However, the prosecution still has more than 150 witnesses to call, and a verdict in the trial, one way or another, still seems a long way off. Meanwhile, Young Thug continues to record from jail, and organizations like the Black Music Action Coalition are continuing to help hip-hop artists like Thug express themselves without fear of prosecution.
When people hear and see Black Music Action Coalition, they just think it's black people seeking justice, but it's really the contrary. We want to figure out how can we create a movement that would have the urgency around social and racial justice. We have some of the most influential artists, everyone from Billie Eilish to Offset, Harry Styles to Olivia Rodrigo pledged support to the movement. We want to really force this industry to live up to the expectations and the promise, not just of the industry, but of this country.
Legislation like the RAP Act, which has yet to become law in the state of Georgia, has found traction in other states.
It became the Louisiana law, and it protects an artist from having some lyrics used as a character witness against them. We are of the opinion that it is wrong to use song lyrics from the past that are not directly tied to whatever the incident or crime is in question. That should not be used against the report.
I have filed the RAP Act as federal legislation, and it would apply to federal trials. Young Thug is being tried on state charges, and so the RAP Act would not apply in that case. But there is an effort taking place in Georgia that will result in the introduction of a similar legislation.
There are now even academic studies that definitively show that lyrics by rappers like Young Thug are scrutinized more heavily than lyrics of similar content from other, wider genres.
So the study that I ran had participants read a set of lyrics. They're actually from a 1960s folk song, Bad Man's Blunder, by the Kingston Trio. But participants either learn that the lyrics are rap, or they learn that the lyrics are
Why I do what to your head?
sense of value of the lyrics. The lyrics that be manipulated.
Do what to it?
What I found is that participants not only valued lyrics negatively when they were portrayed as rap versus country, but also really importantly is that the lyrics were perceived as more literal, more autobiographical when they were described as rap country.
Despite these tries, there are those who believe cases like the one against Young Thug and the YSL group, where lyrical content trumps concrete evidence, will continue to occur. And if so, could potentially end the hip-hop as
Oh, I get it now. Hell no, this ain't that. Hell no.
Because it is about what's happening.
I got to be 5 for lost. About like 3 years ago.
And that's what draws to this type of music. If you take that away,
That's the
it's
good
done.
thing though. Right, I came to that bitch, I saw what it was, and I left out that bitch. Right? Some niggas say go to the party, don't even know expected that bitch. Once you left that bitch, don't you ain't stay in that bitch.
That's why people like myself and others so
I know niggas
on the front line trying to make sure that the artists that come behind us have the ability to express themselves without having to think about their art being used against them in court.
The federal version of the RAP Act legislation is still under consideration, but has yet to be brought to the floor of Congress for a vote. Currently, Young Thug remains in jail, and his trial is still ongoing. Outside of his lyrics, the state has yet to present any evidence allegedly connecting him to the crimes he's been charged with. He continues to record music from behind bars. The future of hip-hop and Young Thug's legacy remains to be written, leaving fans and the entertainment industry watching closely for what goes next.
said I get rather had a herbal than taco.
It's full of questions. Small, yellow, light, or dark? How do I get any of these things? Thankfully, Tide's the answer to almost all of them. Clean wood, water, clean wet soap. You can with Tide. This is chocolate, right? Just use
Tide? Yeah.
No matter who's doing it, on what cycle, or in what temperature, Tide works. So I can focus on all the other questions.
Do crabs have eyebrows?
For all of life's laundry questions, it's got to be Tide. Tide and Downey are giving back $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win.
Bold, juicy, beefy, grilled. Flavor this good? It's made by Flame. Taste the difference with 2 Walker Juniors for just $5 at Burger King.
People just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Okay, let's get going. Can everybody see that?
Like you know to check your desktop first before sharing your screen.
There you go.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Lala Brown had a big personality, bigger than life.
There was just something about her, and everybody saw it.
Strong voice, you know, hands, she was controlling the stage, that was hers. She was in her own.
When Yolanda Lala Brown joined forces with Milwaukee producer Jatan Pule Claiborne, the two of them seemed unstoppable.
He always collaborated with people in the industry. Hip hop, gospel, he could do jazz, he could do, like you said, house music.
Think about your hiding place, whatever that is. And that's
They were stars on the rise, but someone wanted to see them fall.
Yolanda Brown and her producer boyfriend were found dead on Friday. She would tell me throughout the years. I know last night was again.
Two tragic murders and a haunting mystery left families without their loved ones and a void in the music world.
And I really hate to say it, I do. But we ruin lives in the music business.
I know, it's in my soul. Who can do something? I don't care if the day I die, make sure everybody knows.
Now, more than ever, this world-changing art form is under attack. From drugs to mental health, fights for free speech, violence spreading like a virus, and the specter of racism, hip-hop artists are paying the price. And sometimes paying the bill. I'm Angela Yee. I've been covering the world of hip-hop for almost 30 years, and I have to find out what or who is healing hip-hop. From Lauren Hill to Megan Thee Stallion, female artists have been breaking down barriers and taking the mic on hip-hop for decades. But in a genre often clouded by misogyny and double standards, the barriers to success for female talent are steep. It takes a woman with thick skin, drive, and talent to make a name for herself on the streets and of course on the airwaves. In the fall of 2007, it seems like Lala Brown was on the cusp of making hip-hop history, but that same drive that got her so close to the top, they have led her straight into the line of fire. October 19, 2007, Milwaukee police are alerted to the discovery of 2 bodies in the Uptown recording studio. The victims is 21-year-old Yolanda Lala Brown and 22-year-old Jatan Claiborne, a.k.a. Kool-Aid.
Upcoming R&B singer Yolanda Lala Brown and her producer Jatan Claiborne shot and killed Milwaukee. A makeshift memorial now sits outside of the music studio where Yolanda Brown and her producer boyfriend were found dead on Friday.
It was a lot for that time.
Look at it for what?
It's a mystery that continues to plague Milwaukee kids. and one that left the family and friends of Lala Brown and Kool-Aid mourning and searching for answers. Yolanda Lala Brown was born in Milwaukee on May 20th, 1986.
We grew up on the north side. We literally have been missing our whole entire lives. We're all very tight-knit in that neighborhood. Everyone came over.
And that's just how Maria and William Bully Brown liked it. Blending their Mexican and African-American heritages, they raised a son and 4 daughters in a happy home environment.
We had a great childhood. Lala was the baby, and I have 2 other little sisters under me and above her. The house was always full of girls. Attitudes and personalities. Yolanda always was a spunky little girl. She was very rambunctious. I could say, you know, she was a handful. At a young age, we all started dance classes. Yolanda was always the center of attention. Like, she always had to do everything the best, and she stood out. Her father was a very good singer, a bass singer, but we had no idea she was that talented. We knew she was an actress with all the stuff she would pull.
Like many young black female performers, Lala got her start in church. She also took voice lessons and regularly performed in local talent shows. Soon, she was performing in Milwaukee area bars and clubs.
Mr. Brown would tell me stories about when Yolanda was young and how she used to sing in like the clubs and the bars. He used to host these events where Yolanda would show up as like the starring act, and she would pack the room out. As she got older, her father said, well, we're going to start taking her around to different places. He'd stay in the studio with her for hours, 8-9 hours.
It isn't long before Lala's talent grabbed the attention of Reggie Smooth as Butter Brown, a well-respected Milwaukee DJ.
And I'm on the air, and I get a call from the guys. Hey, Reggie Brown. Yeah, you met my daughter. My daughter. Lala Brown. I said, yeah, I want you to host a record release party. And I'm saying, okay, so I think it's going to be at a little teen club or something. But it's at a nightclub on a Friday night.
This spotlight on her, and she's standing in front of this mic and singing her heart out like an old soul.
They gave her a standing ovation. I'm still thinking this girl is not toward Miss Lala.
Hey Milwaukee, this is your girl Lala Brown, and you're checking out Reggie Smooth as Butter Brown on B100.7, number 1 hip-hop radio station.
Just led Lala was the diva, and she knew what she wanted, and she went after it. She did her thing. Nothing could stop her.
She knew she had a chance, and she went for it.
The confident and strong-willed Lala seemed ready to launch onto Milwaukee's hip-hop scene. But she would soon have to balance her music aspirations with a more important commitment. In August of 2001, Lala became pregnant, and in May of 2002, her daughter Amira was born.
Yolanda got pregnant at 15, had the baby at 16. Didn't stop her. Not one bit. This made her more motivated.
One of the things that clearly puts a stamp on the tenacity and height of her ambition and drive would be the fact that she's a mother and a young mother. And the odds of being a successful young mother are very, very low. So she decided she would do whatever she needed to do to get to her dreams and goals.
And it looks like Lala might catch a big break early on.
So at about 17, she ended up getting a phone call from some producers. They were saying that they had a two-girl group, and one of the girls had been dropped from the group, and they needed her to fill in. And she was like, yes, it's an opportunity, let's go. They decided to call each other eye candy. And that was very good because we're both beautiful women.
But her work with eye candy didn't last long. And by 2005, Lala reached her limit in Milwaukee.
Being from a small city like Milwaukee, just many people are happy for you. There's a lot of people that are haters, a lot of people that are upset that you are thriving.
She was a diva. You know, she wanted to be in this business, and it showed. She stood out from anybody putting up with the game.
And so in Milwaukee, of course, there's not a lot of opportunities for open mics and things of that nature. So you have to create opportunities.
I always told her, I said, if you want to win in this business, you gotta win where the action is. And, you know, no one's looking for folks in Milwaukee. Atlanta is like the mecca of music. And she took my advice and went to the ATL.
Atlanta, Georgia. When you're young, talented, and driven to succeed, Black Hollywood is where you want to be. In the fall of 2005, 18-year-old Lala Brown moves to Atlanta with her 2-year-old daughter, Amira.
She had this strong voice and would sing all of the old songs, like all of the old R&B songs, but she didn't like it. After a while, she stopped. She wanted to convert over to being an R&B star. She wanted to sing her own music. She wanted to write her own music. So Atlanta was that place for her.
The music was rich here, and Black entertainment culture is rich in Atlanta. And so when you're from the Midwest and you really want to make it, you have to.
And I think that she knew when she got here she wasn't going to take her foot off the gas.
It was a bold move for the young single mom from Milwaukee.
Let's just be honest. This is a male-dominated industry. When I was young, I walked into the room, and it was all men. There's all men producers, songwriters, musicians. They're all men. It can be very dangerous in the music business for women who have star power. Women are revered as sexual creatures, and we're not strong enough physically to protect ourselves against men in this business.
The stress of the male dominance can sometimes be overwhelming. And it becomes scary sometimes. You feel like if I don't do this, if I don't do that, I won't have this opportunity.
Lala Brown hustled to book every opportunity she could in Atlanta.
I remember her calling me one time. She said, I love it here. I'm doing talent shows, I'm doing everything.
My mother was on a Party Like a Rock Star Shop Boy music video. I actually remember being on that set a little bit. She was rubbing shoulders with everyone.
But juggling her music with motherhood while trying to make ends meet proved to be more than Yolanda could manage alone. In June of 2005, she made the difficult decision to send Amira back to Milwaukee.
My grandmother told me she tried to bring me out there while handling studio life and performing, but that was too much. Like, it's just a lot to be a parent, and on top of that, working in that type of field. So that's where my grandparents came in, and thank God they were a big support system behind her.
She tried to be the mother and the artist, and I said, Yolanda, that's not going to work. And she said she was going to try it anyway. But I ended up having to get the baby from her. And she loved her so much. And the look on her face was heartbreaking because she didn't want to leave her baby.
Without the pressures of caring for a toddler, Lala was able to commit full-time to her dream of becoming a hip-hop star. But success was elusive, and Lala soon made a decision to earn money dancing at the Body Tap, aka V-Live, an Atlanta strip club.
Her dream was to become rich and famous and be able to provide a substantial for her daughter and her parents, but she knew that wasn't going to happen overnight and her daughter did anything, so she just danced. She could dance very well. She had a nice body, she had a beautiful face, and she knew it would work for her.
Performing at the Body Tap put Lala in front of many of Atlanta's biggest hip-hop artists who frequented the club.
So her dancing in the club, that didn't bother people who understand what it takes to work hard. Her dancing in the club was obviously probably one of the best decisions she could have made because it landed her to Life Jennings while she was there.
Life Jennings had made a name for himself as a singer, songwriter, and producer, releasing a top 10 Billboard charted album, Life reputation as both a bad boy and a socially conscious artist.
Like James at the time, and still is, really to this day, an amazing musician and R&B artist. And he was part of history, and he was part of culture, and he was part of hip-hop / soul / he was so many things in one.
I remember one day she told me that Mike Jennings was upstairs in the VIP, and one of the girls at the club came and got her and said that Mike wants you to come upstairs. When she walked in the VIP, he said, they said you could sing. And she said, I was singing. And I guess from there on, they exchanged information, and that was the story of Lala Brown.
I think Lala Brown knew exactly what she wanted to do when she met Mike James. I think that she was ready and prepared to sing anywhere. You had to be ready. You can't come to Atlanta and not be ready, because if not, you'll be in trouble.
It's been a bit out, Mike. She called Mike, I contract, and I spoke to him, and I went to the studio, and, whatnot, and the next thing you know, she was signing her contract.
The two joined forces on the song that became a hit single, SEX. SEX is a cautionary tale, a warning to young girls about the risks of unprotected sex.
Lala Brown had the opportunity to sing about a song that really was relevant to who she was, being a teenager. It had a lot of substance to it. It had a lot of conviction. It had a lot of background to it, and it connected to the city. It connected us. Oh, this is it. We made it, right? We made it.
Lala's vocals featured prominently on the song, and she co-starred in the accompanying music video.
Her sisters and I and her father were there, and a couple of her friends to see the process. Watching her in the chair getting makeup done, her hair done, excitement was ridiculous. She came on the trailer, and when she walked out there, we were all just kind of cheering. She just looked like a star. Her makeup was just so beautiful, and it just was like a halo over her. Like it was like, oh, this is what you worked so hard for, and you're here.
I think that was one of my dad's proud moments, knowing and seeing it actually come together. It was exciting for all of us.
SEX became a major hit, climbing to number 3 on the Billboard R&B Hip Hop chart. It was Lala's breakout moment.
We started playing the song to me, and we were just proud. Everyone knew where she was coming from when she was on that song, or her part that she sung on that song. Everyone knew where she was coming from.
Lala joined Life on a tour promoting his album.
So then she started touring right away. It was just go, go, go after that. After that, it was just all fame, lights, camera, action.
Milwaukee hip-hop fans took notice of Lala's growing popularity.
We did something called Jam for Peace every year. And we had Lala Brown, the White Jennies, we put her on the bills for the promotion flyer. When she hit that stage, you could barely hear her sing because the crowd was just screaming. It was amazing.
Hey Milwaukee, this is your girl Lala Brown, and you're checking out Reggie's Smoothest Butterground on V127, the number 1 hip-hop radio station.
People are knocking for autographs and whatnot. Their face would light up. Like, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
With her collaboration on the Billboard hit and steady work on Life Jennings' music tour, Lala was poised to become a star in her own right. But soon the pressures of touring would take a toll on both her professional and personal relationships.
When you host, your bathroom can feel like a revolving door, and that Just Clean freshness is going, gone. Unless you keep them fresh with the Breeze Small Spaces. It's a number-free air freshener that continuously fights odors and freshens for 45 days. So even after every flush, you know your bathroom is going to smell amazing. Choose from over 25 delightful scents for Breeze Small Spaces.
Mercy, you are special.
So much more than you know.
Welcome, Mr. Jackson. We've been expecting you.
In human history.
It's obviously George Washington, the first president of the United States of America, also with a symbol of freedom, democracy, and independence.
King Arthur, a mythical legend who brought unprecedented beauty and strength to Britain. He's the once and future king.
Did you know that in Everett you can gather the greatest historical generals, lead them to conquer cities, develop your nations, and ultimately become your most significant figure?
Women, and especially women of color, have to work so much harder to succeed in hip-hop. And Lala Brown was no exception. She had the grit and the chin-up attitude to succeed. Still, the pressures of recording and touring can take a toll, which they certainly did for Lala. In July 2006, Lala was on a grueling tour to promote Life Jennings' album, Venus. At first, Lala coped well with the demanding schedule.
Lala resilience had to kick in when she went to, because now it's a whole other level of work ethic. You're on the road, you're rehearsing, you're singing new songs, you're learning new songs, you're recording, but you still have a child. So I can imagine that Lala was just probably overwhelmed at some point.
Lala and Life had great chemistry on and off stage. The duo became close friends. Future collaboration seemed a certainty. But the unrelenting performance schedule eventually put a strain on their friendship.
Sometimes when we work with artists, they want you to be a little bit more greater. But you have this young girl from Milwaukee where the odds of winning in a city like that are slim to none, and then you arrive at her cockiness, or what people assume to be cocky when she was kind of just celebrating, didn't work for the project, didn't work for life.
The music business is male dominant, and as a woman, you have to kind of dance the fine line of having your own mindset and going with the grain, not causing too much trouble, not being too much of a voice to ruffle any feathers.
In June of 2007, Lala's work with Life abruptly ended following an explosive argument, and she was kicked off his tour.
My mother and Life had a disagreement, which ultimately led to her being sent back to Milwaukee. She felt like she had made a mistake. She was upset about it.
I could almost guarantee you that that was dagger to the heart. Like, damn. Yeah.
She was so broken, but it was a learning lesson to move forward, you know.
But in a show of great resilience, Lala was determined to start again. She returned to Milwaukee, committed to finding her own success.
She looked at it as a resting point. She knew that her music wasn't done, but she just didn't know where she was going to go from here. It was a depressing time for her, I'm sure, but it was never the end for her.
The wonderful thing about Lala is that once she did get back to Milwaukee, she was able to connect with the people that she had loved, the Reggie Browns, and they still had her best music at her. And And then she connected with some dope producers and music artists in the city. She's like, hey, let's make magic. And that's what led her with Kool-Aid.
Lala met up-and-coming producer Jatan Claiborne, better known as Kool-Aid.
He heard he was having a buzz in the city just for how good he was with producing and whatnot. He excelled in such a exuberant way in music. He was reading, writing, and just developing into this great image of what's called music. The music industry.
Kool-Aid was around 17 years old when he first started his own record label, Loud Enough Productions.
Loud Enough Productions is a studio of a young artist, a young producer, somebody who's hungry, who is tapping into different genres of music, house, pop, hip hop, rap, R&B. He is really making a name for himself.
He was literally a genius, a music genius. Not just with making beats, but with software, with mastering, with mixing, all of it. He wanted to create a powerhouse based out of Milwaukee so that we wouldn't have to leave home and that we could just bring the opportunities to our city.
Well, I knew she had a good producer that could produce the music that knew her. And Kool-Aid knew that he had an artist that he could work with that was raw, great talent, powerful voice. So they started working together a lot.
The two began collaborating, and soon their partnership became something more.
We found out they're dating. That's just, of course, that's like a match made in heaven, you would think, right?
I know that Yolanda is a very hardworking artist, and I know that Jatan is a very hardworking producer. So the two of them coming together could only be magic.
Their main focus was just to make music. And I think they understood that with both resources, and talent, that they could do it together. We're talking about a 21 and a 22-year-old who both separately had children, and I can imagine they both felt the pressure. Lala coming fresh off the tour, you're only as good as the last thing you put out. So I know her mind was probably in the frame of, I need to hurry up and figure this out so that I can stay relevant.
And they started working together 24 hours a day. She would come in the morning and take the baby to the park, and he would pick up his baby and take him to the park with him, and they'd go back to the studio. She was under a lot of stress. I seen a lot of tears, but I saw a lot of determination. She was going to make it one way or the other.
By the fall of 2007, work on Lala's first solo album was underway. Kool-Aid planned to release 3 tracks: I'm Feeling It, Rescue Me, and Give Them What They Want. Big name labels start taking notice.
He told me over the phone that he was going to meet Def Jam in New York. I think everybody felt like about to be home. Like we finally made it, or we're almost there.
Now on the cusp of launching her solo career, Lala Brown's hip-hop dreams are finally taking shape. The emerging artist had partnered with the talented up-and-coming producer, Kool-Aid. But blinded by her desperate pursuit for success, Lala is unknowingly putting herself in the line of fire.
Kool-Aid is very good collaborator. And so he knew all he had to do was get connected to the right people in the industry to be able to do what he wanted to do as a music producer. He was producer. Music was just alive. He was so into sharpening his skills. He stayed with all musically inclined people. He had a shot at getting with Jay-Z.
With a producer who could work with her relentless drive, Lala Brown was singularly focused on making hit recordings.
The time that they spent in the studio wasn't just about making music, but it was more so about creating a new sound for her. Because this was the first time that she was able to express herself as an artist and had full creative control.
In October 2007, with new tracks recorded and an upcoming meeting with Def Jam Recordings, Lala and Jatan were ready to head to New York City.
Kool-Aid and Lala were both on their way to New York. The way he explained it to me over the phone seemed as if he was getting a label deal. So not just a deal just for Lala or just for him, but a deal for Loud Enough
Productions. A record deal would be life-changing. Def Jam could give Lala and Kool-Aid the mainstream success that they craved. But just as all was coming together for the couple, they suffered a devastating setback. In early October, Kool-Aid's Loud Enough Productions was robbed. Thousands of dollars of recording equipment.
Time to go spin it one time.
Rumors swirled that Kool-Aid had gotten involved with a dangerous crowd and he owed money.
Around that time that the studio got robbed, apparently there was a lot going on with Kool-Aid and his friends.